motherfuckers know the deal. I got that game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year.
Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of the Game of the Year extravaganza distribution platform. I don't know. I'm just saying words now. From VGU.TV, we are back to talk a couple categories here for Game of the Year in 2023. It was a really banner year, so let's have a banner conversation. Hey, you haven't heard my voice in a minute. How's it going? EJ Spun61 here, but also Emmett Watkins Jr. If you're not chronically online like me. Hey, it's been a minute. I'm back. Been doing things, but I'm here with all the other folks that you're very intimately familiar with, like Alan Muir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just turned 30.
Hey, 30. Hit them streets, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
Don't do that. Do
Like
not do that.
Furry. Walk the streets at night.
That if you you want to talk about sleeping forever, that's how you sleep forever. Don't hit them streets. And that's a reference to things that were not recorded. But at least Graydon found it funny. How you doing, Graydon Webb?
I don't like that you said that we're intimately familiar with everybody, but hi. It's good to hear your voice again. It's good to have everybody back together in this full house.
Aw, I like this whole house. Makes me not want to make the OnlyFans joke I was gonna make, but Josh, you want to make a better joke? Josh Miller?
No, I don't have any good jokes on it to tell everybody.
Sorry to put you on the spot then. But it all works out. So yeah, very excited to talk a little bit about the games of last year. Gotta be honest, I've been sprinkling in a little bit of content creation, talking about video game stuff here and there. It's been a minute since I've gotten to like sit down and do some stuff with the Corecast, so I'm excited to get into it. Y'all ready for this?
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go, slam dunk. So picking up off of where we left off, we'll go ahead and go through all the categories that have been decided up until now. And then we'll, get to the ones we're talking about. So if you missed it, last time we had talked about what took so long, games we finally played in 2023. Thomas Was Alone is from Al, Chorus is from Graydon, Stumble Guys is from Josh. And I'll go ahead and sprinkle mine in since I wasn't here. What I chose for that category was Borderlands 3. Long ass time, but
Wow.
I'm just gonna put Borderlands 3. I ain't gonna say too much about it. I've talked about it other places, but it's a good video game. Just skip the cutscenes and or mute it. Biggest gaming news. Top 3 stories of the year. Number 1, Game Awards. Who needs devs? Short speeches and no condemning mass layoffs. Fantastic. The day before, devs shuttering 4 days after the game release, and the Insomniac hack.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wrap it up.
Oh, you son of a gun! You got me on that.
I made the joke last week, so hey, what can I say?
Yeah. All right, well, 5-minute podcast. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great. No, I'm kidding. Zeitgeist of the year, sponsored by Wordle. Top 3 global phenomenon of the year. Baldur's Gate 3, making devs panic. Number 2, Tears of the Kingdom, everyone's reaction to Pura. Oh my God, I forgot about that. And number 3, Starfield. And then next up is the biggest fumble, sponsored by Saints Row. Top 3 had to have had expectations in order to fail. Number 1 was Starfield. Number 2 was Atomic Heart. And number 3 is AEW Fight Forever. I gotta be honest, y'all nailed pretty much all of those. As an observant out from outside looking in for once. But today we're talking about a different set of categories. We'll read just the categories. We'll talk about what's in each one as we get to them. But the categories we're tackling today: best DLC / add-on expansion, best upgrade / re-release, sponsored by TMNT, the Cowabunga Collection. Top 3 best graphics, animation, or visual style, and games to vibe to, FKA games that culturally innovate our sin. Cultivate our inner sin. I don't know why I said culturally innovate. I split up those words weirdly. But without too much further ado, let's get into the first one here. Best DLC / add-on / expansion. And while y'all think about what you want to stand in the corner of, I'll go ahead and read off what we're picking between today. Number 1, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLC. Number 5, 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. TMNT Shredder's Revenge Dimension Cell Shock. Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass. Vampire Survivors DLC and parentheses free stuff. Cyberpunk. That was not indicative of what I feel about that game. I have not touched that game. But Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, and Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways. Now, I am in the corner of 2 of these right now, but I want to hear what everyone else thinks. Oh,
Yeah,
what's your suggestion?
Can we just pick 3? Because I'm really interested in seeing what everybody would pick as their top 3. And because I can see 3 right here. And I just kind of want to like go around the room.
All right. Well, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So I would say Valhalla.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm underlining. You got it.
Phantom Liberty
Okay.
and the Mario Kart Booster Pass.
Huh. All right.
I feel like that's like a lot, like guarantee, and I just want to know what anyone else brings to the table here.
Ooh, all right. Let's come back around. Josh, you got your 3 figured out?
I would probably say Vampire Survivors.
Oh wow!
I think the other 2 I haven't. Well, Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass.
Okay.
Then this one I haven't played, but I've only heard good things, and that would be Valhalla.
All right. Okay. Very interesting. Al, what you want to throw in the pot?
Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways.
Oh, here comes Al. I know what Alan's gonna pick, and it's gonna blow this thing wide open again. Yep, you're on it. Just underline Pokemon.
Is that actually it?
Yeah.
All right.
And
oh boy.
I mean, y'all know what y'all
Trifecta.
know.
Just finish it up here.
Okay. Strongest One of the Heavens.
The strongest one of the heavens? Oh, you talking about this one right here?
Yeah, that's what Tenkaichi Budokai means. Strongest One of the Heavens.
Lord God bless you. God bless you so deeply.
So we
all right.
deleted 1. If Emmett fucking says Shredder's Revenge.
Well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I really like TMNT. No, I'm kidding. I'm deleting that. Before I even say my 3, yeah, TMNT Shredder's Revenge is sadly not going to be one of our winners. The 3 that I would have picked, I'm going to be honest, I've experienced content from only one of these. The one that I've played a little bit of Vampire Survivor DLC. That's it.
Not even Valhalla.
Not even Valhalla, but
Wow.
I am still going to make it one of my 3. In fact, it's like my number 1 of the 3 because I have not played it. I have heard a few things about it. And the fact that that is what it is, like the narrative aspects, there's a certain narrative thing that happens in the game that if the entire DLC is about making that happen and justifying that to happen, that is like the most fan servicey thing that they could have done for me, someone who loves the old God of War games. So Valhalla is like my number 1 for sure. And then also didn't play this other one, but I've been told that all of the things that people thought was missing in the base game, the DLC kind of adds those elements back in and makes it make a lot more sense and adds some new gameplay elements to make it even more fun. So Separate Ways, Resident Evil 4. That's my number 3.
Oh wow! See, I thought that was the exact same thing you just said about Separate Ways can be said about Cyberpunk.
Oh wow.
Like it's, as I've heard, that it's turned the whole game upside down and made it the perfect version of that game.
God damn. You know what? I've heard the same thing, but for me, Cyberpunk is like I still haven't played the base game, and I'm very excited to finally get around and try it out. And I like Idris Elba, I guess, but ultimately, it's like, other games got the juice more. It's not that there's anything wrong with Cyberpunk. Other games got the juice for me more. But we've whittled it down to 7, I suppose.
From 8.
Yeah, I know. Good God.
That really helped out a lot. I was like, wow, let's throw this one right out.
I'll
Oh.
say
Such a-
this.
Such a Herculean task. If I don't say so
Yep.
myself.
I'll say this though. There are 1, 2, 3. Wait, how many people said Mario Kart 8 for theirs?
Me.
So more than one.
Yeah, 2.
Okay, damn. All right. Well, I was gonna say if there's one person voting for it, maybe we should take that off. Which I hate to single you out, but it might be time. But I do want to give you the floor to talk about both of these because they're good and I'm sure people will like them. So do you want to go ahead and give your quick shout outs to DBZ?
Yeah. This DLC is like basically the end of Dragon Ball original, the end of the manga and series, and it's the showdown with Goku and Piccolo Jr. and it's got. If I played any of the other, like if I played Valhalla or Phantom Liberty, I maybe would have voted for them because they let you play as Goku and like a kid Goku in the beginning of the DLC of Kakarot.
Holy hell.
And it's just like you're playing as him and it's like this is great, and then boom it's done. And I got a little angry about that. And as for Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, because I know it's going to be voted off.
Yeah.
Because it going through it made me really appreciate and see that I was wrong in my opinions of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that I had last year.
Okay. Kind of made you do a 180 on the entire game?
Yeah, it was when I was going through it, ironically, for Pokemon Scarlet to get through that. When I just realized that, actually, no, there is a good game here. It's a very melancholy story with certain or melancholic story beats with a certain character,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just devastating. And when you take into account that character's portion of the story, what you're doing with that character, it makes sense why I said character acts the way they do. And as for the DLC, I can't spend as much time as required to talk about it without putting you all to sleep. So just
I still want to get to it at some point.
it's really, I think it's really good. The Indigo or the Teal Mask may be my favorite story, like my favorite DLC story of the modern, or just story in general of the modern Pokemon stuff.
Sounds interesting. I gotta be honest. I'm very surprised that after the shit show that game was on release, even if it was really well received by people once you got past the bugs and whatnot, it's nice to see that it's still kicking. Not that I thought it would be completely dead, but not only are they making new content, but the content's really good. So nice to see they were able to maintain quality.
And
well, maintain is strong, but you know what I mean.
I'm just gonna say this now. I'm not gonna budge on Resident Evil 4 Cyber Ways. So you're gonna have to either throw me out of the ocean, or shoot me out into space to get me to let that game or let the DLC be voted off.
Whew. Well,
all right. Listen, I'm willing to give up Mario Kart. I think, and in turn lock in Separate Ways, because I do think that you're right about what you said about Separate Ways. I heard a lot of people talk about it as improving on the game, kind of in a similar way, I believe, if from what I feel I heard is correct, it's kind of like how Final Fantasy VII like puts a whole spin. Like the new version was like, hey, it's not the game you knew before. Separate Ways kind of does add a little something like that.
Oh, you have no
Um,
idea. No idea.
yeah. So, and I mean, like that's awesome for you guys. I'm very happy for you. Um, Mario Kart 8 is hard because it's been that pass has been going on for I think a couple years now,
Yeah, just
and
wrapped up this year. Yeah.
yeah, so like you have the finished product yet now, and you're honestly probably going to get another release of that game with the whole like the ultimate definitive edition. Um, but and if that shows up this year, I mean, hey, it'll show up in another category, I'm sure, because it's a fantastic game. But the booster pass overall doesn't really define this year. It defines that game. So we can get rid of it for the purpose. Josh, do you agree with me?
Yeah, it just adds more content to an already great game.
Yeah. So let's strike that and talk about Vampire Survivors.
All right. I'll say shout out to Mario Kart 8, incredible staying power, but all your points are absolutely valid. So we're talking about Vampire Survivors now. Look, I voted for Vampire Survivors. I think this one, I'm in the similar argument that you made with Mario. I kind of feel like we could kind of wipe it away only because what's impressive about Vampire Survivors DLC isn't necessarily the DLC itself. It's the fact that there has been so much of it on all platforms by such a small team on mobile also, and they still ask such paltry sums of money to access this stuff. And that's only for the stuff that they do ask money for. A great deal of these updates and additions have been free throughout the past year. It's just really commendable what they've been doing with the game. But like, I don't know, man. That game's really hard. I still haven't unlocked most of the new content they've been adding. So, it's how attached am I to the DLC content itself? Not super attached, but I'm really happy about like the narrative that content has continued to feed into. So,
Yeah,
what?
I'm fine with taking it off. It like
Mhm.
Mario Kart, it's more Vampire Survivors, it's more characters, it's more maps, it's more weapons. And if you like the base game of Vampire Survivors, you're gonna like the DLC and all the free stuff they add to it. It's more of a great game.
Hmm.
But I mean, yeah, it's just more of that.
More of the same tune you love. All right.
Mhm.
Well, it's been struck from the list. So we got our final three. Now we just got to figure out what we're going to do about the ordering. So the final three we have right now, we got Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty at number 1, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla at number 2, Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways number 3. Now, I got one that I absolutely want at number 1. And I could take the other one being at number 1 as well. Basically, Valhalla, I want at number 1. Is anyone riding into the sunset with me on that?
I can't speak to any of these games. So
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Is like I really don't. My only horse in the race is just I feel like Phantom Liberty. People were screaming from the rooftops that it's such a different game, that it's the version they wanted, and now it's like it is an awesome game that they had wanted. But like you can say that about everything here. I mean, well, not that the other two games were bad at launch, but like they're all on the same par for me. So whatever happens, happens.
Hmm.
I mean,
All
so is
right.
Resident Evil 4 the only one that anyone here has played?
I've played it at least I think twice. I'm not sure. I'm hard to tell
Keyword.
because I it's such a good time.
Yeah, that
So
whole
should,
game is such a good time. So I know Separate Ways is just going to be more of it.
Like I'm
so
just
should we
gonna.
have Resident Evil 4 as the number one just because it's
It's
the game here
ours.
that we've actually had time put into?
Yeah.
So that would be. I personally think that what we have right here, like what we have right now, is actually a good list, like a good order for this,
Hmm.
because Phantom Liberty is not just an expansion that adds more. as Grain said, it revitalizes the game, fixes the game, does so much more. I've heard, again, only nothing but good things about Valhalla. And I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm not sure if it's my cup of tea, like at least that type of experience.
So with Phantom Liberty, do you have to pay for that?
It's yeah, you have to pay for it.
Okay, so
Yep.
that might be one thing I would criticize against it. If it fixes the game, I don't know if people should have to buy an add-on to essentially fix the problems that were with the game.
I like
Unless
that.
I mean I don't understand exactly what fixing the game
I'll
means.
I'll play devil's advocate and say that it's not that Phantom Liberty fixes the game, because a lot of the changes to the skill progression and XP gains and combat and stuff, a lot of that is built into just the base game. They released a 2.0 patch to the base game that kind of changed a lot of things. I'll say that for a lot of people, I guess speaking as just a new player, if you are a new player to this, I don't think buying Phantom Liberty is going to, change your experience of that base game. I think a lot of the improvements are really highlighted by the DLC, but I think you could still play the base game and still see a lot of those improvements and feel a better quality of life. But I bet if you don't get the DLC, there's going to be just like a thing or two missing. There were some issues with the base game as far as like structural things that you like content wise that are problems. But as far as like, oh, the game's functional and is pretty good, you can do that without buying DLC.
Okay.
With all that being said, Valhalla washes all the. Look, I'll say this. I'm fine with Separate Ways being number one if it had to be. I'm indifferent with Phantom Liberty because I'm indifferent with Cyberpunk overall as a game. I'm sure it's good and enjoyable, but I'm just indifferent to it. Ragnarok impresses me. Well, the base game impresses me, but Valhalla impresses me because they turned God of War into a roguelike, and it's good. Number one, that's not easy to do. Just adding roguelike elements into a game, that's actually pretty hard, especially for a game that is so cinematic action. Everything has to look pretty. To keep that going despite the change of format is really impressive. And then also what they do with the story in that context, in a game that's already like immaculately built, that's already got like oodles and oodles of content, to put the same amount of care and craft into the free DLC mode, where some people are like, I can't even believe this is free. Like this thing should be $10-15 on the side. It just doesn't make sense. I think that's really commendable. And that kind of ties into the argument I was talking about with Vampire Survivors, where it's cool that they even did it as a free thing. I commend the narrative around it just as much as I commend the content as well. And I'm saying that as someone who didn't even touch it. So what I know about it, the things that it does with its story are just purely, if you're a longtime fan of God of War, especially if you're someone who like felt a little weird when they did the big reboot and kind of threw away a lot of that old stuff, some of it becomes relevant and it's really neat to see. So yeah. So how we feeling? Are y'all feeling just this order we have right now with Cyberpunk at 1, God of War 2, Resident Evil 3? Or are y'all advocating for some moves?
I could go with whatever.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with whatever. I'm so cool with whatever.
All right, Al, it looks like it's up to us. Are you cool with whatever? Because I'm cool with moving things. Let's fight about what we're moving, I guess.
Okay, then. Well, it had to be this way. So, flip God of War and Cyberpunk, and then flip Cyberpunk with Resident Evil 4.
All right. I like that. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and do that right now as I click around incessantly. So God of War on top, Cyberpunk on bottom, RE dead center.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the world should work. Throw them a weight around immediately, like I haven't been out of the house for years. In any case, let's go ahead and talk about this category because now we have our final order. Best DLC / add-on / expansion. Number 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. Number 2, Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways. And number 1, God of War Ragnarok. Oh, I'm not gonna sing the whole song. Anywho, that's it for that category. Let's go on to the next category. Look at that. That one didn't take too long. Let's replicate it. Next category is best upgrade / re-release, sponsored by TMNT, the Cowabunga Collection. Number 1, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake. Number 2, System Shock. Number 3, Metroid Prime Remastered. Number 4, Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Number 5, Dead Space Remake. Number 6, Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars Remake. And number 7, which I'm adding right now, Quake 2 Remaster.
Oh damn.
I really like that Quake 2 Remaster, so I wanted to make sure it gets some play on here. This is a smaller list. Do we want to do a top 3 or a top 2?
That's difficult for me because I've played the only games on this list I haven't played through has been Star Ocean.
Wow. You overly qualified for this.
I think we could probably take Star Ocean off. I added it on here just because I heard a lot of people say good things about it, and so I wanted to kind of draw attention to it, since I think it may have been forgotten that it even came out this year. But yeah, heard good things. I would like to get to it at some point, but can't really speak anything else on that.
Well, I respect the shout out here. It has been acknowledged. Good day to you, Star Ocean. Damn, I was clicked off of the window and I hit backspace all dramatically and it wasn't even selected. All right, so I've only touched 4 of these. Besides the Quake 2 Remaster, I've touched Dead Space, I've touched Resident Evil 4, of course, and Metroid Prime I've touched. Are there, you know what? Let's go ahead and do our top 3 like we did earlier. For me, it's Quake 3, it's Resident Evil 4, and it's hard between Dead Space and Metroid. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go Metroid. Dead Space is great, but man, that is a remake that didn't need to exist. But that's where I'm at. All right, let's actually, Graydon, what are your 3 out of here you would pick?
Oh boy. I've played nothing. I've played nothing in this. The only one I wanted to play was Mario and Metroid. Let's see. I think so. I want to do that thing where I'm like, well, we gave Resident Evil 4 its due. Let's give Dead Space something. But then I really feel like I don't have a horse in either of those races. I want whichever one is better to come out. So like, yeah. And then I would definitely underline Mario. So do Mario, Dead Space, Resident Evil.
All right.
Yeah.
Selecting them right now.
That's where mine would be.
All right. In that case, we're still on it. Al, how much did you love the System Shock remake?
So, ironically, System Shock, Metroid Prime, Dead Space, Super Mario, or RPG, or Super Mario RPG, Quake 2, or I never played through most, if not all those games before.
Like the originals.
Yeah, I have the originals for most of, or for all but System Shock now, in some form or another. I didn't like System Shock, shockingly enough. No pun intended. I bought it over. I bought it during the I think the one of the Steam sales in either November or December. And it was expected to be like a religious experience where you go through the door, you come on the other side, and you just look like Moses with the with the long beard.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Like that one clip from It's Always Sunny where, God, what's the short guy's name? I forget
Frank.
The short guy's. Well, oh yeah, where Frank is like looking at the performance, he's like, I get it.
Yeah. It was kind of the opposite of that.
Why did I get it? Why did I get it?
Um, so Metroid Prime, Remastered was my first time playing through the game, and Dead Space was my first time making it through the whole game. So if I had just to give my three, Resident Evil 4,
I'm deleting that one. No one's talking about System Shock positively, so I've just wiped it. But Resident Evil 4.
Metroid Prime Remastered, and Super Mario RPG.
Oh, Super Mario RPG. A zag when I expected a zig. Okay. Well, in that case, it's time for me to eat a little bit of humble pie. Of course, my three would be RE4, Metroid Prime Remastered, and Quake 2. No one's going to bat for Quake 2 except for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it from the screen. But the Quake 2 remaster is really fucking good. I think Quake 2 might end up being the first game I ever beat from before the year 2000. Because the remaster is that good. It plays well on Steam Deck. It plays well on everything. It's a lot of fun. I want to play more of that.
Also, it's everything that an upgrade / re-release should be in terms of upgrading the game fidelity wise and gameplay wise, and also what it does historically for people who want to learn more about the history of the development of the game and the production of the game.
Absolutely, you're right on point with that. You know, not only does it add hit markers to the game and add a weapon wheel and all that stuff, it has like in development builds of the game. It has every single port within. It has like the N64 port and all these other different types of DLC, and they even made a new episode to go into Quake 2 that got made in recent times by Machine Games, the same people who do the new Wolfenstein game. So it's an incredible package. It's insane that it exists at all, but I'll delete it. With that, the four we have right now, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake, we have Metroid Prime Remastered, Dead Space Remake, and Super Mario RPG. It seems like the class is leaning towards either Dead Space Remake or Super Mario RPG getting wiped. Is that fair to say?
I think Mario RPG should definitely stay.
Yes.
I
will
think
fight for
it
that
was
one.
I think it had a lot of hype leading up to it, and I read something the other day that it's already sold more than the initial game did.
Oh,
yeah.
Like there's obviously people excited that were excited and remained excited, and I think we're quite pleased with it. And yeah, I think it's definitely it's what you want a remaster to be, to make people excited for it again and to make it even better.
Well, hey, I respect the hell out of that. So Super Mario stays. I swiped off of Dead Space earlier. I think that game is really well made. I think that game is actually very, very good. It just does, when it comes to an upgrade or re-release, I feel like this is not an upgrade or a re-release anyone was asking for. And by the time I beat it, I was like, this gave me no new insights. This is just playing the same game again. It felt like just replaying a game. So I don't know how we feel about Dead Space. Is that the one that we wipe?
Yeah,
I'm okay taking it off.
Yep. Yeah, that's three. Unless Graydon, you want to fall on the on the marker real quick.
No, on Dead Space, no, I'm good.
Fair enough. The last guy to fall on the marker. Well, we played the game. So our three right here. Number one, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake. Number two, we have Metroid Prime Remastered. Number three, we have Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars Remake. What do we feel about the order? Do y'all think something deserves to be on top that isn't RE4?
I'm going to do the same thing I did last year and ask what differences were made to Resident Evil and Metroid Prime, other than like just looking better.
I'll say for Metroid Prime, there's a decent bit of graphical enhancements. It's not like a reworked all the textures and whatnot, but it's way more high res, or way more. It's a decent bit high res from like a 480 to 920 or whatever. So that has it going for it. The controls are streamlined to where the original Metroid Prime had some awkward first-person controls because I guess Nintendo was a couple years behind on how first-person controls should work. But they standardized that, or you could just play, how you're used to from the GameCube, or you could take the Joy-Cons out and swipe it like the Wii versions. So that has that going for it. I really like it for the controls, the portability, and the fact that it's pretty extensive for what's just a remaster. A lot of people look at this as more of a remake, but that's what's going for that one. And in Resident Evil 4, it's just a completely different game. Like, it is barely that original title, to the point where it's hard to fully call it a full-on remake of all of the content that was in the original, because Separate Ways takes all the content that was left on the cutting room floor and then does something with that. So, it's not as comprehensive as a standalone game, but it is probably the best modernization of an old game I've seen in a very long time.
And
That-
also,
Mhm.
also the way how it, and this could just be myself as well as a lot of people, a lot of other people on the internet reading into it, and into how they are possibly using certain sections from the game to either tease or test how elements of Resident Evil 5 could work in a remake in the style.
Oh my God.
Like I'll talk about it now because I think, Emmett, you know which area I'm talking about.
For RE4?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a certain area you go to when you get to the lake.
Yes, the big lake section.
Not the big lake section itself, but there's an area that is basically it's a very smaller version of the marshlands area from RE5.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's basically it's the like the it's like the fishing area in name only from RE4, but in reality it's the marshland. It's a smaller scaled down marshlands from RE5.
Absolutely right.
And it just once I first also noticed that, I thought, wait, someone looks familiar about this. Oh my God, they're actually doing it. And and it that with as well as with Separate Ways, like the way that ends and the way like what the way it ends versus how it's seen in the base game
hmm
versus how it ends with versus the way it ends in the Separate Ways, like the post credits. I don't know if it's post credits or mid credits scene
hmm
with a certain character.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And the change in lore versus like from RE4 to the original RE4 to RE5, the explanation for how that whole thing worked was a little fishy,
Okay.
and the way that the least way the way I've seen it interpreted from everything is a much more, like it's everything you need to know from RE5 or a possible RE5 remake
Just
can
right there at your fingertips.
is right there at fingertips. And also you can you don't have to play a whole bunch of games to figure out where everything is tied together. Everything that is mentioned in, or at least everything that's possibly connected to RE5 remake, has elements from RE2 remake and the RE4 remake.
Interesting. You know what? Actually, you're right. These Resident Evil games, it seems like they do a lot of, maybe not straight up asset reuse, but a lot of clever manipulation of features that already exist within the engine or within other RE games, and they either redo them or repurpose them into, something new. And they did that a lot in Resident Evil 4 remake. So it makes it not only just a great game, but like an economically made game, which is kind of cool.
Also, this is not even just a spoiler, but it's just something that just the way in Resident Evil 4 the original Resident Evil 4, it was implied that the weapons dealer, the merchant, was one person who magically got around the entire area, and also the implication that he was infected but somehow was immune. And like the big thing that I loved about this was the fact that they took the merchant, made him totally normal. He's not infected.
Hell yeah.
It's not just him. There's a whole bunch of his crew in the area, like across the game, and they're pirates. They are literal pirates.
Like Captain Phillips type?
No, like
army mateys?
Yeah, like yo Pirates Life for me.
Oh my! I didn't catch up on that.
I don't know if you played the fire, like the
the shooting mini games.
Yeah, that whole thing is that just makes even more sense when you're looking around the areas. It's very pirate themed, and you're literally shooting pirates. Like that's their whole aesthetic. They are literally just weapon dealing pirates. It's great.
I really missed that element of it, but all the more reason to think of this game as impressive. So let me ask. I asked about the order that we have set here because look, I'm a shill for Resident Evil 4 remake. I like this order. Does anyone object to any part of this order?
I think I would prefer Mario to go up to number 2 at least.
I concede that. I'm not so attached to Metroid. Anybody else have a problem with that?
No.
All right.
Just to speak on a little bit, Mario, I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time, so I was super excited for it to come out. And of course, it looks amazing, even though I still think the original looks amazing too. But they redid all of the music, and they have it to where you can switch back and forth between the old and the new versions. They added in, since it's the battle mechanics are time it just right and you'll do extra damage, they have now little signs that, hey, you're about to, it slows down just a little bit, and it flashes up where you're supposed to press the button to hit it, so it can help out with that. They've added in post-game content. They have team up moves that weren't in the original, so they made it worthwhile to go back and replay that game if you played the original, while still maintaining the personality and the charm and everything that made the original great. I think it's my favorite game of the year. I'm not gonna mess with it come game of the year time, since so much of it is the old game. But at least here, I think it would deserve a second spot at the very least.
Damn, that was a very good argument for it. Anybody else want to fight for Super Mario also to go higher, or are we all content with where we're at right now? All right, going once, going twice. Sold to the couple in the back. Let's go ahead and lock it up because we have our final category ranking for best upgrade / re-release, sponsored by TMNT, the Cowabunga Collection. Number 3, Metroid Prime Remastered. Number 2, Super Mario RPG. And number 1, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Oh boy, that one, I thought that was going to be more of a bloodbath, but we were all civil, so good job, everybody.
No, that's best luck.
Yeah, fuck. This one terrifies me.
Yep. Okay.
Well, yep. It's about to turn into the last 3 minutes of Saltburn up in here. You watch the movie if you want context. Actually, it's not 3 minutes. Anyway, I'm already saying too much. Best look, sponsored by Horizon Forbidden West. Top 3 best graphics / animation / visual style. Here are the nominees right now. we got Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Planet of Lana, Dordong,
Dordon.
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 Ooh, boy. Dordon. All right. Yes. Appreciate that. Next up, we got Bramble the Mountain King, Sea of Stars, Thunder Ray, Hellboy Web of Weird, Immortals of
Word.
Avian. Web of Word. See, I'm the one who's weird.
Try the
Immortals of
next one.
Avium.
No, no.
Yeah.
Avium?
Fuck. Is Avum?
No, it's Avium. You got it.
Damn, I was right. All right. Don't try me. Tron Identity, Disney Speedstorm, Mortal Kombat 1, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Jusant, Fort Solis, and Disney Illusion Island.
That's a
Good
lot of
lord.
a lot of crazy names. It's actually Mortal Kombat because they changed.
It's actually it's a
Kombat
bird
Uno.
simulator. You nurse the bat back to health. Anyway, all right, Graydon, since you spoke up for this one, let's go ahead and do our top three so we can get this big old list down. What's your top three on here?
Oh boy, this is hard because, like I said, I played about 20 games from last year, and half of these, I've played almost all of these, and half of them are my edition, I think. All right, let's see. Top three best graphics / animation / visual style. We always fight over this. I would say, in terms of unique and awesome visuals, I would put Bramble.
Okay, Bramble.
Now it's hard because some of these are really good. Like Immortals of Avium, I think looks really good. Do I think it's like super captivating and unique? That's what it is to me. That's what it means to me. No. So let's see.
Dwam.
God. Bramble. Hi-Fi Rush.
Okay, Hi-Fi Rush. Didn't halited.
And Jusant.
Jusant. Okay. I respect those choices. Al, do you got three on here that really jump out to you?
Yeah, sure do.
What might they be?
Hellboy, Web of Word.
Ooh, that's a good one. I respect it.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Okay.
And
I know it.
Disney Illusion Island.
There you go.
Ooh, okay. See, I got scared because I thought you were gonna say a different one, and I was about to slap you, but nah, you get to keep your sanity and everything good. All right. Josh, how you feeling about this list?
Hellboy, Mario, and then I'm gonna say Thunder Ray.
Okay. I respect the choices.
Wow.
This one is difficult because I see the direction that we're taking this one. I see where we're going.
Yeah, because
I
isn't it
have
funny?
to yeah.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but it's funny how, like, if we wanted to go with like, most realistic graphics, I feel like we would be like I mean, my top three there would be like Mortal Kombat, Immortals, and Fort Solis. I think like
Final
they do
Fantasy
people
16.
really well. Yeah, Final Fantasy 16, maybe even Dead Space. But we're
God
not
of
just
War
looking
Valhalla.
for people, you know. We're looking for our art styles that are different.
I agree. I think this category is really good at recognizing, something you've never seen before, an artistic style that really gets your blood pumping. And I think it's very good that we're rewarding that. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and underline Alan Wake 2.
Oh my god, I knew that was gonna happen.
But that's the only one. That's the only one like that I really feel somewhat strongly about. Alan Wake 2 is mine. Hi-Fi Rush is my other one. And definitely not that one. I'm trying to see if there's any of the ones that haven't been selected yet that I'm super duper all about. I kind of want to do one of these, but I didn't play it, so I feel like I really don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to it. And it's also not my type of game anyway. But should I hold it against the game? for not being the type of game. You know what? It's just visuals. It's just visuals. Dorgon. I said it wrong, didn't I?
It's a beautiful
Dorgon?
game.
It's
It is
like
a beautiful game.
Door done. Kind of think of it like that.
Dordon.
Door done.
Like when you door dash and then eventually you dash the last door and now you're door done.
Yeah, or you eat it and then you're door done.
Sure. What the hell are we talking about? All right, so everyone has made their top threes. So let's go ahead and say some goodbyes. Fort Solis. Look, no one was playing you anyway. I watched the Netflix series that got announced.
Hey, I did. Did they announce a Netflix series?
I don't know if it's Netflix, but they're making a movie or TV show. They did announce that.
Fucking awesome. What a cool game. What a great time. What a great 90 minutes that was.
Oh, so it was good and enjoyable because no one talked about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I think nobody really played it, but it was fun. It was enjoyable ride.
All right, I'm glad it was worth something. I will, when it's in a humble bundle in 4 months, I will give it a shot.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, Mortal Kombat 1, RIP. Very good graphics, but not the most mind-blowing thing in the world. Plus,
Nah, like the same as 11 pretty much, but it was good. They were good.
Exactly. How impressive is Mortal Kombat 1 when r/watch people die exists? That's awful.
Wait, what? What?
That is a thing. Am I super familiar with it? No, God, no. But I do know it's a thing. Do not even look up what that is. There's a reason that WB has to pay for a lot of therapy for NetherRealm. Anywho, Disney Speedstorm. This is the one that I was like, is the visuals in that really all that crazy for the free-to-play racing game?
Oh yeah. Because it puts Disney characters in an art style that's unique to them, and like because they all work really well in there. Like, I don't know how else to really describe it. They look like if they were all put in one movie together, and it just works. Would you agree with that, Josh? You played it, right?
I would agree. Yes.
Yeah, it's still fun. Oh, I played that. The only time I ever got into a battle pass was for that Frozen event.
You're hilarious. God bless you.
Oh,
Baby's first battle pass is Disney Speedstorm. You're special.
Oh, that would have been a great video. That would have been a great video.
Battle pass.
Well, now you got me. Look, I can only talk so much shit because I was in H1Z1 Battle Royale. That was my first battle pass. So I won't fight too much. But yeah, Disney Speedstorm, adios. Tron Identity. I respect whoever put this one on here.
I think I'm the only one who played it, but
I respect the fact that you played it.
I had a good time. It was that's my response to like everything. I didn't really hate much last year, but yeah, I put it there because it was another unique art style, visual novel, but very like the colors were very cool. It was very Tron-esque, and yeah, I recommend that game.
Awesome. Immortals of Avium. This is a shooter, right?
I got you guys into this game. I got everybody to play it.
Yeah, this is one where I'll be honest, I have yet to play it,
Oh,
but I really want to.
Well, okay then.
I did buy it though. You did get me to buy it. It was like
Same here.
$8 on $8 on Game Pass, or not Game Pass, on Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah. Avium Bros. All right.
Avium Bros.
Yeah. Shout out to that game. It looks gorgeous, but man, that's the most made in Unreal Engine 5 tech demo game that has ever existed when it comes to the visuals.
I love it.
But they're really
so
pretty.
much. I really loved that game.
Yeah. Well,
DJ gives me no end of shit for liking that game, but I love that game.
it's probably a good game. It's just probably, Chex is a good cereal. But give me a Honey Nut Chex any day.
All right. Touche.
Next up, Sea of Stars. RIP to you, but we're wiping you from the
One of the
ledger.
most beautiful 2D pixel art I've ever seen. It's a gorgeous game.
Why didn't you stand up?
Because there's just a lot of games like it. It just does it extremely well.
I tried it. I could not complete it.
Why? It was just like really difficult spikes or whatnot.
Just look back at the sentence I just said.
Tried it but could not complete it.
Was there something a part of it that
Penultimate
was
word. Penultimate word in the sentence.
complete?
Not. Penultimate is like the second from the last, right?
Yeah, complete.
Yeah.
You couldn't complete it, but you could play. Why was there like something too tragic or hard to do?
Oh, you had to complete like get everything in it to actually beat it.
I only
You know
say it
what?
because I feel like
Yeah, go ahead.
sometimes with Alan, like there are just I don't know, like it's not a bad thing, but just like a certain moment can really turn them off of wanting to stick with something.
I was making a joke about the completionist.
Oh God!
Oh my god. we thought so deep into this. We're like, how do we break down our friend's psyche? I'm
And
so sorry.
just for us to get psyched out.
Oh, we like
God
I
damn
wasn't
it.
even trying it as like a roast. I wasn't like being I just I really wanted to know what kept Alan from complete. Oh, you little.
I was like, is that too vague a joke to make?
Yup.
It's not even
When-
like when you lay it all out, I get it, but nothing about that made sense until you said it.
Because he was in that game.
Yeah, they cut him
Right.
out because they didn't know how to manage a charity. I don't even want to say they were stealing funds. It was more mismanagement rather than bad intent, but pretty bad mismanagement. Anywho, this is not the video game YouTuber drama podcast. Next on the list to get dethroned, Planet of Lana, R.I.P.
Oh God, one of my favorite games. Of the
Beautiful
year.
environments.
Yeah.
One of the greatest games of the year. So good.
And it looks really good too. So I'm kind of surprised it's getting struck, but hey, it's a dog eat dog world.
It's like my fourth pick. Like it's up there, but I had to think the way I thought.
I respect it. And I'll say something about this next one that we're wiping off, Dead Space. Incredibly beautiful game, but you are already dealing with one really hardcore looker of a game to start with. So making that prettier is easy, but god damn, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And with that being said, we are left with Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2, Dordon, Bramble, The Mountain King, Thunder Ray, Hellboy, Web of Weird, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Jusant, and Disney Illusion Island. If I may say something, I don't want to come off too personally. I don't want to like come off as like having a bias against or whatever. I'm looking at one of these and I don't like the cut of its jib.
Oh.
I feel like, yes, this has a cool art style and everything. I don't think it's different enough from the art style of previous entries. I'm out for blood when it comes to Mario Wonder. I think it should leave.
Oh,
Me too.
whoa.
Me too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
It's just more Mario on
it's
a different
not.
system.
I
Have
won't go as far to say it's more Mario, but compared to some of these other looks on this list, it is closer to being more Mario than the rest of these are closer to being just another game.
I gotta say, Josh just gave me some. That was like the most attitude I've ever heard. Slow the hell, back the fuck off, boy.
Yeah, I heard Josh snapping to a Z formation over the mic.
Yeah.
Currently about to write Twit longer.
Oh no.
Put me in my place, Josh. Why? What's wrong?
Okay, so I think on some level you guys are correct in that it does look like another Mario game. The parts of it that are so different is, I would say, a lot of the animations, even just not just like the movement of like the character and everything. It's just the world, like the way it's animated, makes the world feel more alive than Mario has probably ever. Just the way like the Goombas look like when they think you're going to stomp on them, or Mario's big booty trying to fit through the door when he's an elephant, like just like the little wiggle he gives. Like there are certain animations in that game that give it just so much character that has been missing in the Mario games. They've just been missing, like flat out. Like Mario Wonder is the game that I think the new Super Mario Brothers games should have been in terms of like how much they've changed. Even if you're not talking about the animations, the wonder aspects of it, when
Oh
the
god,
whole world changes,
it's an acid trip.
yes, it is an acid trip. It's colors, it's things just flying all over the screen. Things
Actually, I have a better way. I have a better way to
oh,
describe it. I have a personal way I can describe that playing that part of the game. That was my experience when I first got high. When I got the medical marijuana, when I took the edible, when the edible hit, if I felt it felt like that's the only thing I can equate it to is the is that the wonder the wonder part or the wonder element of Super Mario Wonder. Like that it's hard. I can't believe this. It took all this time to take something that was something that you'd see most of the time in, or at least you would see in the classic 2D Sonic games,
Mhm.
because those were an acid trip as well. Like the bonus mission or the bonus stages.
Oh yeah, where it's just lights and collectibles everywhere. Those types of things.
Yeah, just wondering what is going on here? Wait, I'm running on a skateboard on a half pipe. But I'm not actually. Oh, this is crazy, man. You should check your game. Just see make sure you're not spreading anything.
yeah, I'm not much of a get high kind of person, but if you do, I can't imagine what like witnessing those wonder moments in that game would do if you're like hitting that high.
Hmm. Oh boy. Yeah, I kind of look as someone who has only maybe slightly been high once. I gotta be honest, I don't think I smoked enough to really feel it. But in any case, yeah, I can understand that feeling. I can understand that vibe. And yeah, you guys are giving me enough pause to like back off of Super Mario Brothers Wonder right now. And instead I'm gonna fall on a different land grenade because I think no one is with me on this. I'll shout out Alan Wake 2. All of these have very distinctive art styles. I think Alan Wake 2 doesn't necessarily have a distinctive art style, but it does have very distinctive style. I think, if you put this game, you can feel the direction in this game by how it presents text, how it presents its architecture, its lighting, all these cool things. They're not as cool and as impressive as like hand-drawn art or, different shaders and whatnot to make a different look. It's not as impressive as that, but I think the fact that the game does look so good and it blends so seamlessly with live action cutscenes, I think that's on another level, just in a different way. So shout out to Alan Wake
Oh,
2. I'm talking a lot for someone who hasn't played it, but I can't wait to finally get around to it.
so just a quick thing that I was gonna just want to say, especially like adding to what you said, Emmett.
Mhm.
Especially when, like once you start playing as Alan, um, like the way his the way the story like the way his power works, like his side of the story, like the way
Mhm.
that whole thing works, like structuring the story and to rewrite reality around him. And it's not really much of a spoiler. This like happens like the first chapter you play as him. So it may not be hand drawn animation, different shaders as you said, but everything from a technical standpoint is very solid.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, well, you've played way more of it than I have, so I'm inclined to agree, but I can't say too much. But yeah, it seems like Alan Wake doesn't have enough support to be on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry, that hurt. Um, is there anyone we heard multiple people stand up for Jusant. I only heard one or two people stand up for Thunder Ray. No, Josh, I think you're the only one who said something for Thunder Ray.
Yeah, I would be okay again letting it go. Thunder Ray looks amazing. It's the whole reason I bought the game in the first place. It's basically Punch Out with a black protagonist in an anime style. So it's just really colorful. The characters are insane. Lots of just it's just an anime ass Punch Out game, and I appreciate it as terrible as I am at that game. But I mean, it does. It looks amazing, but there are other games on here I think would be better suited for this category.
Fair enough. Thunder Ray is absolutely just the graphics are the game in that case, I think. But like you said, there's some better ones out here.
I had never heard of that game before we did these awards.
Yeah, it's really cool. I saw it in some showcase or something a long ass time ago. So I did remember it when I saw it here, but yeah, it looks unreal. Very, very good looking game. Let's see what else we got on here. Here's a question I'll ask. I know it's a good game. I know I liked it when I played a little bit of it, and I know it has a good look. Are we really losing our minds about the look of Jusant?
I want Jusant to win something, and honestly, there's a lot of good nominees here in this category, so we can put it to bed if we want to. But it's such a good game, and I'll fight more for it later.
Look,
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
fight for it later, like for the next category too,
Cool.
All right.
because I've been going back to it recently.
Yeah, I was just about to say Jusant is gonna get its due soon. So let's take it off of here in favor of something better for this category. All right, so Jusant gone. Right now we're down to Hi-Fi Rush, Dordon, Bramble the Mountain King, Hellboy Web of Weird, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and Disney Illusion Island. Anybody else got a bone to pick with one of these?
So, Hellboy Web of Word is mainly it's more of a vocal, or not a vocal. It's more of a visual showcase rather than a like a fully standing up like experience.
Mm-hmm.
The game, like I mentioned to Josh when the game first came out, like when I first got it,
Yeah.
it looks like Magnolia drew the whole thing. Like it has his art style
Mm-hmm.
like deep inside the root of the experience.
Yeah. That's it caught my eye as soon as I saw it as well for the same exact reason. It looks really impressive. Kind of doing the God, what's the sand game that has the similar art style? Sable is doing the Sable art style, and it's doing it almost on another level, it feels like. So yeah, it's really nice.
The only problem is, considering it's a budget title, but it's not a particularly long experience that you're having with the game. So it looks good, but you're not really spending like as much time with the world as you are with Super Mario Wonder, Bramble, Hi-Fi Rush.
I guess that makes sense. It's more of a set dressing rather than an actual living, breathing world.
Yeah, like you're basically alternating between two different locations. Like you're ping ponging between the word and
And the bird.
if only. You're bouncing between the headquarters that the BPRD is in at that point in the game, or throughout the game, and you're basically just diving into the word,
into the good book.
And yeah, the visuals, like the visual style, is the only thing it's the only thing it's got going for it.
That's true. Well, it is true because I did see a couple reviews of this when it came out, and it did seem kind of middling outside of that art style. But it is a very cool art style, and also shout out to Lance Reddick doing the voice of Hellboy, R.I.P. But I don't know. This is the look category, so it is the main thing going for it. But is it stronger than the Hi-Fi Rushes, the Bramble the Mountain Kings, apparently the Super Mario Brothers Wonders? Um, I don't know. What do we think are the locks? What are we all in unanimous consensus on? Is like this definitely needs to be on here. I feel like Hi-Fi Rush is one of them.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes.
I would agree with Hi-Fi Rush.
All right. Hi-Fi Rush seems unanimous. Are we okay? We'll come back to Wonder because we said that. I feel Disney Illusion Island deserves to be on here.
I was
gonna say Bramble.
I like Illusion Island, but I think it just follows the animation style of the cartoons that we already know. That's my only issue with it, because like a similar thing to how you felt, Emmett, about Mario in the beginning. Like, it's just a game made out of the art style of the way that Mickey's kind of gone in recent years. Like, it's the same thing with the ride that they made, the Runaway Mine Train or whatever it is in Hollywood Studios. Like, it's the same art style. It's a great looking game, but it's the same art style. But if we want to change the spotlight over to Bramble a bit, I've seen very few things like that before in my life. and
I have
it's
to admit, I
gorgeous.
have to agree. I have to agree with Graydon on this because despite me having to bow out multiple times because it was like really, really like bleak and dire. But then considering the source material, it's fitting for that. But it really is something else.
Huh. All right. I remember seeing images of Bramble a long ass time ago and being like, "Oh, that looks interesting." Looking at like the trailer where they're going through more than just the one lake scene that I've seen. Nah, this looks crazy. This looks insane, actually.
Yeah.
Y'all might have been
It's
cooking
an
with this pick.
awesome game that I think we all really enjoyed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hot damn. All right. Yeah, Bramble can stay. Bramble's probably a lock, if I'm being honest. Um,
Can I make a suggestion of what I think the 3 should be?
go ahead.
Hi-Fi Rush, Bramble, Super Mario Wonder.
That would be my top 3.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Because, like, if anything, Hi-Fi Rush deserves to be number 1 because of how like that is now my new like definition in my head of when I think of primary colors, like or like a experience, like like the classic
Yeah,
thing with
pastels popping.
that, but like the classic trope of Wizard of Oz going from Kansas to Oz, where it's going from black and white to see color. That trope, but it's like everything that's been that you all like every regular like every standard game that's out there right now, and then you play Hi-Fi Rush and you just
It's
it's
in a
like
different world.
yeah, it's like you've been isekai'd into like a rhythm adventure.
Okay. I gotta be honest, you guys are convincing me. I think I'm just gonna have to lay down my arms. Disney Illusion Island's cool, but I'm taking that off. Dorgon, I think looks really nice. I'm taking that off.
Yeah, I want to say Dordan is a beautiful game. I know Josh played it, maybe put it on here. Um, it's really really good looking, and honestly, I don't have a reason to say why like why to delete it other than hey, there's too many good looking games. Like if
That's kind of the problem with this entire list. It's like, God, any of these could easily fit.
yeah, I mean, if it was just me, I would swap Mario for it. but I don't have a horse in the Mario race because I still have not touched it, sadly.
So
Yeah.
good. So good.
So I agree, it's great. I'm sure I'll take your word for it, and we'll put it there, and I'm okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it on there. And sorry, Hellboy, but I'll see you in hell. That has been struck from the list. And it seems like we like the order that we have right now. Right now we have Hi-Fi Rush number 1, Bramble number 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder number 3. Content all around, it sounds.
I would be okay with this.
All right.
Hold on, I just wanted to double check what that was again. Hi-Fi, Bramble, Mario. Oh yeah. Emmett, have you played Hi-Fi Rush?
I have not even touched Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, dude, you are missing out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you would love it.
Yeah, you would.
I know everyone's saying, it's like a PS3 game, had music, and was a melee combat game. I'm like, everyone shut up.
It is a rhythm game with probably, I would argue, one of the top 3 ensemble casts of the year. Every character is lovable, and it's so much fun. It is so much fucking fun. And I'm a rhythm game connoisseur, and I've played very few games like it.
I'm gonna try it. It's coming. Look, I will say I downloaded on Steam, someone made like a third-party client for remote play on your Xbox. It's like $6, but I said fuck it. Everyone says it works perfectly, so I'm gonna try it. Played some games on it. I might finally get around to Hi-Fi Rush that way because I've been playing a lot of PS5 with the Steam Deck remote play. Time to do the Xbox in the same way. But right now, I will give it this award for Best Look, sponsored by Horizon Forbidden West. Number 3, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 2, Bramble, the Mountain King. And number 1, Hi-Fi Rush. Not too much hair pulling. Good job, everybody. I thought that was gonna fuck us up, but it seems like we're all still standing. But we won't be standing anymore after this one because it's the last one. We'll be lying down because we'll be asleep. Anywho, this last category, games to vibe to, FKA, I think AKA, right? Is
No,
it?
it's formerly known as, because that was what we
Ah,
called it in like the first 2 years of doing this,
you're
but
right.
now
You're
we've
right.
changed it to Games to Vibe to.
Yeah, games to vibe to. I like that. I like that. Your nominees are Dordon, Pikmin 4, Station to Station, Cocoon, Jusant, Venba, Under the Waves, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Disney Illusion Island.
Oh, what a category! What a fucking category, and a very
L-
opinionated category.
I'm
too.
actually gonna put one more on here just so I can actually no, I'm put 2 more on here just so I can take them off immediately. No one's ever heard of this one. Flamekeeper. And you might have heard of this one if I can spell it. Ooh, Pseudo Regalia.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's making a few waves. I'll quickly explain those, and then we can have at thee with the whole list. Flamekeeper, it is a top-down. It's kind of like a single-player MOBA. It's just a top-down game where you are a little flame, and you have to get your main fire burning. And the way to do that is to walk around a bunch of not quite randomly generated maps. And you beat up a bunch of bugs and burn down the spider webs and whatnot. You collect the fire embers to go back to your base and burn up, and then you use that to upgrade your little flame guy, and he can beat things up, and he gets different abilities. It's like it's very MOBA-esque, but it's nice, it's chill. I've played a good chunk of the game in just 2 hours. I think I can beat it in way less than 10. It's a lot of fun. It's been a nice Steam Deck game. Pseudo Regalia is a third person. I mean, it is third person. It's basically N64 inspired platformer, but it's super minimalistic, no text, no dialogue of any sort. And it's just kind of lo-fi vibes, jumping around. You get a lot of abilities as you go throughout the game, but the abilities are kind of awkward where you don't get a double jump, but you're able to like jump off of walls, and then eventually you can get a third jump if you kick the wall, and you have a sword that you can throw, and there's some mechanics attached to picking your sword back up in the middle of the air and getting momentum, and there's like a slide that you can eventually get momentum to. It's one of those like movement games that are really popular nowadays, but it has that N64 aesthetic and vibe, and it's just very chill despite being, just a platformer. It's basically like Mario 64, but different. So those are those two games. While I get ready to delete those, what is everybody's top 3? You know what, Al? I don't think we started with you yet. What is your top 3 on this one?
Okay, so mine simply. Well, I didn't. I kind of fell off station to station.
Okay.
Really? You were so gung ho about that one.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Got off the station.
You got off at the
yeah.
wrong station.
Illusion Island, I couldn't really. Honestly, Illusion Island failed the vibe check.
Yeah. Wow. I know what my number 1 is. I'm trying to figure out the other 2 right now.
We can take off Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to go.
Yeah, you're robbing to a murder.
Yeah,
It's not quite as bad as it seems. It's just a 2-hour visual novel of Amy Rose having a little birthday get together on a train, and she's having this little game with her friend, all these Sonic characters, and the whole idea is it's going to be a murder mystery. Someone's going to, murder someone, and then we have to go investigate it, just like this fun little thing among friends, and it was fun. It was fun, but there is a little section in there near the end in particular that can get a little frustrating. But I think this would be better suited for our all ages category, and so I will save my argument for that there.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, because no disrespect to Sonic the Hedgehog, it's fine, but what's a vibe? Murder. Good.
I was gonna do a video on that, never did. That's on me.
Hey, time happens, life happens, but there's no time like the present or the near future. Okay then. So we got that one taken off. Do we want to take off station to station since Al, it seems like you were the biggest fan?
Yeah, actually, station to station and Illusion Island, as I said, there were parts in there where it got very stressful.
Yeah.
Station to station because I was just simply just having trouble with the puzzles. And then with Illusion Island, it was getting a little repetitive near the end.
Ran out of platforming ideas type thing.
No, well, it's more of I hit the point that I imagine everyone hits in a game where they just nothing exciting has happened, or you're in this lull, and I was near the end as well, so I just kind of just I just thought, well, why keep going?
Yeah. Huh. I feel that. Well, I guess that takes the axe to station to station at the very least. And before I delete Disney Illusion Keeper, is there anyone who really wants that on here?
I sadly never got around to playing it. So
Same.
I think it looked awesome. It looked like it was going to scratch that Rayman Legends itch, but I never got around to it.
Yep. Yeah, same for all 3 of us, it sounds like. So I guess we'll go ahead and wipe it since the one person who did touch it ain't really up on it like that. No one's gonna come with me with, well, you know what? I'm just gonna delete Flamekeeper. Flamekeeper is great. I question what's the vibe of Flamekeeper. So I'm just gonna delete Flamekeeper, even though I'm the one who put it on here. Pseudo Regalia, I think, has a shot at 3. Has anyone seen gameplay of this? Did anyone Google the name while we were talking about it?
I Googled it and I wish I hadn't image searched it.
You wish you oh God. What does that word mean?
No, it's just some people have a lot of love for the main character.
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely, I get it. There's a slider in the game. Well, not a slider.
She's
There's a check mark in the
Big
game to give her
rabbit
pants or
thing.
not. Yes, it's a rabbit with like the thighs out. It's like, I get it, but also, Christ, please.
You know what? I don't get it. I'll be happy to say I don't get it.
It's anything that can be sexualized will be sexualized. That's what I understand. Anything else, I'm not there. But, you know, her name is Sybil, by the way. Actually, no. Why did I give that information? Don't Google that. Anyway,
Yeah, great. Great. That's great. What
I
what,
like.
what color is she, and what are the dimensions? I gotta know over my fanfic.
Will she fit in this dress I bought? That's all I got. That's all I got.
Oof.
I really like Suda Regalia. I think the vibe is A1 on that one. So I'm gonna ask to hold on to it for a minute. Maybe that's my number 3 behind 2 others that I really think I want to go in for. How are we feeling on Under the Waves?
No one else is gonna pick this one, so we can end up leading it. But I'm going to tell everyone that Under the Waves was one of my favorite games of the year. It was an absolute joy to experience that game from start to finish, and I don't think anyone else in the world played it. So I I hope someone will go and play it. It's a little indie about a guy on a submarine. I don't know how to really describe. Oh, yeah, it's kind of like if Endless Ocean and Firewatch mushed together,
Hmm.
and which also is kind of like Beyond Blue, which I always heavily recommend, but it's got some more puzzle solving, which was akin to something like Deliver Us the Moon, and it's just a really good. I think of in games to vibe to, it's more like a kind of shut my brain up. Not really shut your brain off, but just like, it's all the same kind of level, which I believe is how we've described it in the past. Everything's just the same vibe. And
Mhm.
while Under the Waves does do that kind of thing, there's a bit more to it than just a, hey, I know what I'm doing the whole time. Like it'll throw in some extra little things here and there. So because of that, we can take it off. But I really hope that someone will go and play it because I loved it a lot more than I thought I would. And it has 2 endings.
Hmm.
I
Very
added it to my
neat.
wish list.
Awesome. Awesome.
Speaking of endings, I regret to inform everybody that I have been forced to discover that Sybil is indeed a goat.
Oh?
And I have no clue why all these pictures have them built like my girlfriend. It's very concerning. Um,
There's not a lot of
Anywho,
goat content out there, so that's helpful for people.
well, welcome to the Goaty Show.
Oh no.
um,
Fellas,
Anywho, hi.
is it gay to be a furry?
Yes.
No
you
hesitation.
heard it here. Yep.
I was gonna qualify it at least, but we were in the same car going the same direction. I just hopped out while you kept driving.
Station to station, baby.
Indeed. All right, so the 6 games we have left. We got Dorgon, we got Pikmin 4, we got Cocoon, we got Jusant, we got Venba, we got Pseudo Regalia. I am gonna put my foot down. Jusant's my number 1.
As is me too.
Who else played Jasant?
Me. I was playing it this morning.
Yeah.
All right.
I played the demo, but I do like that game a lot.
Okay. I'm not gonna complain if it ends up in the top 3. That is a fantastic game. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay. Josh, you gunning for us?
No. Based on what I've heard of it and what I've seen of it, I could say it number 1. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Well, we'll mark it as a
Great.
highlight right now. I think Venba's on there for the top 3 as well. Anybody else agree?
I have not played Venba. Can anyone here just educate me on what exactly it is?
Venba is a game. It is about an hour long, hour and a half.
Pretty
And
short.
it's the story of an Indian American individual whose mother, they basically are telling the story of their mom and her life when they immigrated to America and how growing up for him and his family was. But he tells that story through food, which are kind of like cooking mama segments, but less stressful.
Mhm.
Essentially, he lost his, or he has his mom's cookbook, but it like has some missing parts. So that's where it's like the thought comes in of like, okay, well, let's try it this way. Maybe it's this recipe. Nope, maybe it's this. So there's a little bit of like figuring it out in that gameplay, but a lot of it is, your typical visual novel style. um though it's fully animated, but like you're just kind of going through the story, and then these cooking segments will come up. Excuse me. And it's a really sweet story, and it's a very short game, and the cooking segments come and they go, and they feel fluid and nice. And I do agree, this is one that definitely fits in here. But if not a lot of people played it, then it comes down to one of those like, well, should it be should it be on our list type of things.
Hmm.
But I recommend
Okay.
it because it's short, and it was a Games for Impact nominee, and that's always good.
Usually it's good, usually. And it's if you want to give $100 to Day of the Devs, now that they've gone nonprofit, it is in that massive bundle of 34 games
Oh yeah,
if you're interested. So yeah, go check that out. I really want to buy that bundle, but I'm broke as a joke.
it's on Game
Any
Pass too, Vemba.
It is on Game Pass. That is true. Yeah. Shout out to Venba. I like that one being on here. Does anyone feel strongly about Pikmin? Or you know what? Before I even get there, Dordawn, is this the time to let it shine?
Josh,
I mean, I would like to see it on here, but I don't know if no one else is going to really fight for it. I'm not going to stress if it's not on here.
Dordan is a really, really special type of game. It's one of those ones that feels like kind of a memoir, which
Mhm.
in a way Venba kind of is too. But it's like, yeah, it's just one of those games where it feels like a creator wanted to tell their story, because I believe it's a true story,
I think
through
so.
gameplay. Another one I played this year was called A Memoir Blue, which I didn't think anyone else played, so I didn't put it here, but it's a similar, like, it's a memoir and a very short game, just, hey, I want to tell my mom's story. And yeah, so Dorda fits as well. Uh my question for, like, if we can just kind of leave that for a moment, why does Pikmin 4 fit on here? Because that game gave me stress.
It's on
That
here
was my next
because
question. Yes, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's on here because I was having a good time, and then I wasn't. And
All
it got to
right.
the point where I said, "I'm done." I put it back in the game, put it back in the case, and I haven't played it. I haven't touched it since.
Oh,
Hmm.
so it's like Station to Station where you kind of fell off of it?
Station to station. I fell off of it because just naturally fell off of it. Pikmin 4, I jumped out of the plane, man.
Oh no.
No parachute.
Then it
Just
sounds
jumped
like
out of the plane.
we can get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Pikmin 4 leaves. I was questioning that one too, because I understand that has like time limits and whatnot, but here we are. It's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like I
When you're
played a
collecting
little.
things, it's very fun.
Yeah, like
But when you're
Tinykin, but then it's got
yeah,
that stressful timer at the end.
um, No, I wouldn't actually even say it's that, because if you're pacing, like if you're pacing yourself, like if you're pacing the way if you're doing a pacing run,
Hmm.
you don't have to worry much about the time limit, because it's they have it. It can be, it's very forgiving in that manner. But then there are things like not having the right type of Pikmin with you, like not the right like power set, so to speak. So you'll go in with a set amount of one type and another, and it turns out, oh no, you need to have this other type that you don't that no, because you are like, basically it's both handholdy and a little punishy too. So
Hmm.
still, it's a really great time. It's the best out of the Pikmin games I played, which is Pikmin 4.
Okay. I mean, I've already struck it from the list for this category, but the game does sound good. Does sound like something I need to get around to, and I'm probably gonna have access to it at some point soon anyway. Because guess who has a girlfriend who happens to like Pikmin? So we'll see about it.
Yeah, you
Um,
never you were beating around the bush, but you got her like 1 and 2 and then 4, right? Like you got all that stuff from last year?
I got her 1 and 2 and 3 so that by the time the next occasion to buy stuff for her comes around, she'll be ready for 4. Um, she plays Switch once every 90 days.
Oh.
So, and it's not like she's timing it out that way. It's just that's her relationship with video games, but she's super happy to have it when she does. So I don't know when she's gonna get around to playing all those games, but I got them ready for her. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, Pikmin, shit, perhaps I might borrow her copy of it and see if I like one of the first games. So yeah, Pikmin is Pikmin. Um, did we already agree Dordan was gone, or we haven't talked about Cocoon yet either?
Yeah, who else played Cocoon?
I
Anyone?
played a very little bit of it.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's one of those puzzle games that you really just gotta stick with, and I the ending kinda let me down, but it was a fun fun little trip while it lasted, and, again, it's definitely one of those ones that fits the vibe of, "Well, I'm doing the same kinda thing." It gets harder over time, but it really is the same content throughout. Um, I mean, we can get rid of it if it makes things a little easier and no one else really played it. I I'm really liking Dorda. I really think I wanna actually maybe put that as a lock. I would
Ooh.
I would kinda pick Dorda over Venba just because I did like that story a bit more,
Ooh.
which is weird because I wasn't really feeling that when I played the game. Well, no, that's not true. I like the story of Dorda. My only problem was sometimes it felt a little like a little kid game, like a little too dumbed down.
I would agree with that.
Too
But
simple.
yeah, it just got really simple. Like there's a part where you just kind of you do like a Space Channel 5 type of thing to make the sound of an animal. And it was like, why am I watching Sesame Street in the middle of in the middle of
Good
this game
lord.
that kind of made me think sometimes. So it's got weird, which again, that kind of feels like it breaks the vibe, but it really does overall fit this like there's varying gameplay mechanics, but it all fits within this context of telling that story. And it's
Hmm.
meatier than Venba. I love Venba, but if you want to get rid of it so you can have your pseudo regalia, I will not complain.
See, I don't want to do that if I'm the only person who's fucking with pseudo regalia. Does anyone care at least a little bit about pseudo regalia? Because I'm ready to take it off. It seems like Venba has more support.
I don't know. All these images on
Oh
Google,
my
I might be
god.
wanting to go for
She is pretty thick.
Talk about the goat, am I right? Look, I'm gonna take off pseudo regalia. I think it's really cool. Plus, I like being able to at least have one indie that no one played and I can champion, so I feel like a cool hipster guy. But I'm taking it off. I see where the winds are changing. Now, with that being said, what we have left here, we have Venba, we have Jusant, and we have Dordogne. What's number one? I feel like number one is Jusant for me.
You all were pretty high on Jusant last category.
Yeah,
Jusant.
Jusant's really cool. Everyone wanted to say something for Jusant during this category. I feel like this category is made for it.
So out of these three, I've only played Jusant, and my vote is for Jusant to be number one.
Yeah. Let's just do it.
Because with Jusant, there's really it's just a continuous it fits. You're doing the same thing. Like the vibe does not change. Like it doesn't. The vibe does not decline. It only gets better and better.
And it's one of those ones again where it's like it gets a little harder every time and it'll add new things, but overall it feels like Jusant to the very end.
Absolutely.
And it's such a good game. What a freaking like out of left field gem of last year Jusant was.
Yeah. Don't nod. More like don't sleep on them.
Never sleep on Don't Nod.
Absolutely. Shout out Banishers just came out.
How's Twin Mirror looking, Alan?
I haven't got a chance to play it yet because I'm still getting acclimated to my PC, and also I can't quit. I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble stepping away from the crack that is modded Starfield.
Cocaine. Oh, okay. Starfield. Yeah.
right.
I get you. Well, hey, in living your truth, the game will always be there once you get back. But at number one, the question is it Dordogne number two or Venba number two?
I think Dordogne should be two.
You feel very strongly about Dordogne.
I want to give it its due. In hindsight, I had a lot of fun with it.
The only reason I'm pushing back on it at all is because Venba is the game I know everyone kept talking about. Dordogne, no one talked about until I got into this podcast. So I've only heard Dordogne talk from y'all, not the wider community. Venba, the wider community, went crazy a little bit for it. So
we are the wider community.
The wider community. No, I'm playing. You know what? Yeah, Dordogne. Let's leave it number two. Everyone cool with that?
Yep.
All right. If that's the case, then let's go ahead and make it official. This category is complete. Games to vibe to. Number 3, Venba. Number 2, Dordogne. And number 1, Jusant. I like it. I like where we ended up on these categories. Everybody happy with everything that happened today?
Yeah.
Sure am.
Yeah.
Excellent. No broken feelings, no broken computer monitors from punches. We're all happy. Good stuff. Now, with all that being said, we are now, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 8 categories in. Just to give a recap of everything we've talked about today. Today we went over the following 4 categories, and their winners are also included. Best DLC / add-on expansion. Number 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. Number 2, Resident Evil 4 Separate Rays. Number 1, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Best upgrade / re-release, sponsored by TMNT, the Cowabunga Collection. Number 3, Metroid Prime Remastered. Number 2, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars Remake. And number 1, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Best look, sponsored by Horizon Forbidden West. Number 3, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 2, Bramble, the Mountain King. And number 1, Hi-Fi Rush. And finally, games to vibe to. Number 3, Venba. Number 2, Dordogne. And number 1, Jusant. Excellent. Good job, y'all. We'll do this again soon. So that's it for this episode. We'll come back with another couple of categories in just a little bit here. But hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Of course, look on the website. We got a lot of stuff that we're putting out over the next year. We just did our 24 for 24, where we all talk about stuff in the next year that we're excited about. I just put out my piece not too long ago, so you can see all 4 of them now on the website. And we got some other videos coming, some other podcast stuff coming. Look out for it. And I'll tell y'all really quickly something after we're done recording that I think I might want to finally get around to this year. I'll let y'all know what that is, but
Oh,
possible
shit.
tease for the people listening.
I hope it's
Okey-dokey.
playing Yakuza.
Look, I hope so too. But we'll. Ooh, I don't even want to give myself that that assignment. Yeah, I didn't even get to play my Call of Duty games. Like that's the world I live in.
I have a feeling that Josh was the only one that succeeded at that task.
Nope.
Not even.
Nope. I tried playing Fear 2 on the Steam Deck, and apparently it does not work on the Steam Deck.
Oh my
Damn.
god. We all failed.
That's exactly what I feared.
Oh my god, it was a rough year, but hey, I played a lot of 2023 games.
Hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. We'll come
Here's-
back around when the world isn't falling from our skies.
Here's the thing. I'll ask two quick questions. Alan, did you finish your franchise showdown? Or were you still like kind of floating around on ideas and never really got to them?
I think the last thing you said was Uncharted, I believe.
I played the 5th.
Okay.
Oh, so
like,
you played the 5th game? Wait, there's a 1, 2. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh.
You played the deck builder, didn't you? No, here's what I'll say is like, okay, like to put a ending on it, we all failed. But to just quickly go around the room, did you play enough to say this isn't for me, or will you continue going? Because if I start, I will definitely pick up Kingdom Hearts again. I think it was a lot to do, sure. And it was just a very busy year of games. But I hope to jump back in, and I really want to give it my all at some point.
Hmm.
It is not for me, but I will hop on YouTube and watch that ending for Fear 2.
No,
The
no, you
ending
don't,
is-
you don't want to.
Oof.
You don't want to.
Yeah, that ending is so fucked. But that game's fun. Yeah, well, at least you didn't have to play Fear 3. Be happy for that. Another game that is really fun, but oh my god, terrible in every other way. I'll say for my original franchise, Yakuza, I still very much so want to get back to Yakuza, especially after Infinite Wealth came out a couple weeks ago and everyone's loving that on top of everything else. It just seems like a game that I would fall in love with if I just gave my chance to do so. But if I'm going with the second franchise that I said I would pivot to, Call of Duty, play all the ones that I've missed. Look, I'm a Call of Duty person through and through. As soon as they put all that shit on Game Pass, I'm running through all of them. I'm teetering on that first game. Can they put the classic version backwards compatible so I can just get it on Game Pass? Or do I have to turn on this PS3 and get going with Call of Duty Classic? Jury's still out, but I'm gonna play all those games at some point.
I will
want
say,
to.
since you made that your goal, Alan has tried Modern Warfare 2 reboot and or the first one, Modern Warfare 1 reboot, and did not have fun with it.
Wow.
Mhm.
Fair. Absolutely, I get it because it was still trying to be grounded, so it wasn't like the most bombastic action set pieces you've seen in all these other Call of Duties. So it was really grounded. So it was probably very straight military, and it's probably not as exciting. But man, that shit hit differently.
Yeah, Alan did not like 1, I did not like 2, and Metacritic did not like 3. So it
Oh wait,
seems
you're
as
talking
though,
about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the reboot.
yeah, like the rebooted franchise, like none of them have really hit very good. It seems as though Call of Duty has fallen off a bit. Isn't that surprising?
Yeah, it's almost like having damn near yearly releases are bad ultimately for the long-term health of your franchise. Yeah,
Who'da thunk?
yeah, indeed. I'm not excited to play through Modern Warfare 3's campaign. I'm dreading that actually, but I say I want to play them all, so we'll see. Um, Al, how you feel about Uncharted?
So here's the thing. I've played through, like, obviously on PS3 I played through 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So you just had 2 more to go, or I guess 3 if you want to include the Vita game that isn't the card builder.
No, I wanted to. I when we talked about this last time, I said that I at least said that I wanted to try to get the core, like the first 3 games. So just the
Like the collection experience.
yeah, because I don't really consider like I consider Amy Hennig's, like,
Mm.
her era of that series.
That's
just-
the era.
Yeah, that was the era. Like, that's when it was like I felt very narratively tight, and just it knew everything. Like, you knew what was or you didn't know what was going to happen, but it had a very clear goal. And honestly, everything changed after Last of Us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Everything got grounded. No more magic. Blah blah blah. Well, it seems like, look, you got plenty of time to play Uncharted. There's no more PlayStation exclusives on PlayStation 5 for the rest of the generation. So you got plenty of time. They won't make another one of those for a while.
That's rough. That was a sick burn.
Yeah. Recent news. Recent news.
And it's ironic because I just found my actual physical copy of the Jack and Daxter HD collection.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sealed at that too.
Ooh,
Wow.
leave that sealed if you want a pretty penny in a couple years. When Xbox stops making disc and everyone else follows suit because they figure out it's cheaper and they only want to see the zeros go up. All right, I'm starting to get crazy. All right, everybody.
Why won't line go up? Why won't the line go up? Someone
no
make the
more
line go up. We need our money.
Fuck making the line go up. Let's draw a line in the sand from these corporations and fucking visit Zaslav's house now that his address is on the internet. Anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah, release Acme versus Coyote. Anywho, I totally butchered that title.
Release the gun cut.
Release the gun cut. I was about to say something super incriminating. Let me stop. Al, thanks for hopping on today.
No problem. I really hope that I really hope I've done well on this episode, because first recording with the new microphone setup. So
Yeah, so far so good. Now, if we turn this on and it's just like ABBA songs instead of your audio, then we'll have a conversation.
Yeah,
and
how you get that done? I want that.
just translation. Graydon, thank you also for hopping on. Always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. I'm gonna go finish my Gundam.
Well, at least he said dumb after that, so it's not incriminating anymore.
The gun cut. I'm gonna go finish the gun cut.
with the
And
help
Josh-
of Kyoji.
Oh Lord. And Josh, thank you for hopping on as well. Once again, always a pleasure as well.
Oh, thank you for introducing me to goat furry images on Google.
Yep. Hope you're not on a work laptop.
God.
Oh boy, we're all on a list somewhere. And of course, listener, thank you for listening and or consuming any of the content that you do over here at VGU.tv. Gonna be another fun year of video games. Despite no one wanting to put games out, we will have games to play. I have a feeling it's a backlog year, so I'm very excited for that. But we'll see you in the next iteration of the VGU.tv 2023 Game of the Year series. And as I always say, keep it real, keep it trill, and play on, play it. Peace out, y'all.
That game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, of the year, yeah, yeah. Game of the year, game of the year, game of the year.